See the deer tracks right here. He went right through there. Instead of going in the water, he goes right through the middle where I'm going to try to go if I don't slide off in there. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. The woods are calling and I must go. That was a quote from John Muir. He was, if you don't know who it is, he was a writer from way back a long time ago. He's long gone, but his books will be around forever. He's done some wonderful books. He's one of my favorite authors. Some of my favorite books are his. That, and I do like the Shepherd of the Hills book. That's probably my favorite book, but I got to stop here before I go ride and air down my tires. Before I go off-road. It makes it so much easier now that I got this pump to do this. Before it seemed like a kind of a pain, but now it's a lot better with this. Because all I gotta do is screw this on. And let the air down to what I want. It's actually on 16.5 now, it's not bad. We'll go on down a little bit. I usually like mine about 14. Well, there's 13. Close enough. Then all I gotta do if I want to air it back up, you see it's set to 22. Push this button, turns it on. It'll air it right back up 22. Pretty darn quick. Shut off. And I'm back on the highway again, which is what I'll do when I get done riding before I pull back out here on the paved road. I don't know what the back one is. My bike's been actually sitting for a while. I've been driving the truck. So, haven't rode it in a few weeks. Much. But I have had the urge so bad. I can only go so long without riding. It's just my nature. Like I always said, when I was a baby, my pacifier had a twist throttle on it. We're close. 14. Just where I want it. Because airing down your tires is a huge improvement off-road. Kind of like airing up is a big improvement on-road. Now, turn this off. Put that back in there. Take that back. See, that's small enough if it's in that Nelson rig tank bag there. And that's a pretty small tank bag, but plenty for everything I need. We might see some deer this evening. Maybe. It's 3:45 right now, p.m. And actually deer season is just in a couple days. The rifle season. And during deer season, rifle season, I don't go ride. I just kind of respect the hunters, stay out of the woods, and I don't want shot. Look at the colors, isn't it beautiful? It's crazy, the fall colors. And the leaves are starting to fall like crazy right now. So if you don't get out and look at the colors now, in this area anyway, you're going to miss it. Because this weekend, they'll be mostly gone. Right now it's nice. Oh yeah. I can always tell when I let the air out of the tires how much better it feels off-road. And I'm not kidding you, that motor pump is the way to go. I've actually advertised it 2 or 3 times because I just like it that much. I think everybody, you got a DUALSPORT or pretty much any motorcycle, but a DUALSPORT especially because you're going to go on-road and off-road. That is a gadget you want to keep on your bike with you at all times. I'll go ahead and share the link below too, and this of course, where you can get one on Amazon. That's where I got mine. Look at these pines. You can see on the one side they're dark where it'd been a fire. I think they do a controlled burn out here every so many years and burn this off. Not like some places, they won't allow a controlled burn. Afraid they're going to kill some little bug. Look at that hickory tree. Oh, that's I'm sorry, that wasn't a hickory tree. That was a elm tree, or my goodness, a maple tree. The hickories are usually real nice and bright yellow too this time of year. You see some, but not really the bright yellow. There's a small one right there, some small ones. There's some sassafras that's turning color there too. We got a lot of hickory, white oaks, red oaks, black jack, sassafras, a lot of cottonwood, lots of those. Most of the forest around this area are oak. I actually don't think the pines are native to this area. Sorry, the pines may be, but I've heard that the cedars actually are not. And it's kind of surprising, as many of them as there is. You can see that cedar tree right there. And there's some place around here where we get the cedar glades, and I mean, they are a bunch of them. Now, they're not like a lot of you people have. Our cedars usually ain't big like those pine trees. They're actually just usually small. Not big enough for logs. Big enough for fence posts. It's funny because on my game cams, I haven't been seeing many deer at all. I think it's because they're off out eating acorns and they're just not, coming around where the open areas are, where my cam is, and that could be part of it. I did actually see a little fawn doe in the ditch this morning on my way out. Look at these sycamores. Big old leaves on the sycamores, and they're turning. Some of them are actually already turning brown. That's when they'll fall. Sycamores keep their leaves for a long time. Check that out. That's pretty incredible how good some of those trees look. Beautiful colors. Now we're down in the bottom. And usually, these leaves that are in the bottom, they all get hit first by the frost because it always frosts down low a lot more than it will up high. See all the sycamores shining there, the whites on the trees. I don't know if the creek down here has any water. I probably not. We've got a bunch of rain. We're kind of behind as far as rainfall this year. Just thought I'd take you guys along. I'm just going for a casual ride this evening down through the forest. See if I might see a deer down here. Uh-oh, there's a tent right there. Sure enough. I'd say somebody probably camps in that. I mean, there's no vehicle there, but Pretty good tent. There's somebody camping over here. Or there's a camper there anyway. I don't know if anybody's camping in it or not. Well, that water's, that's not too bad. Yeah, somebody's got a camper set up there. A lot of people do that, like they'll put it in there. This is Wednesday, so they're probably getting ready for Saturday morning, and they want to get a spot, so take your camper down now. These spots here are dispersed camping. You don't have to pay for these spots. I've never been one to hunt on the national forest around all that. Look at the colors on them hills. That is awesome. Beautiful colors up there. Autumn is here. So, like I said, I've never been one to do the dispersed camping. We'll take a picture of this. Not dispersed camping, I mean as far as deer season. I've done a lot of dispersed camping, but not during deer season. This is my quad lock. I got the one with the ball mount, and the ball mount's nice because I can connect it to this ram mount here, put it on the bike. I moved it to this side. I actually had it over here, and I got another one here where I could put it. And this does have the anti-vibration dampening on here. I will post a link where you guys can get this thing. You can get 10% off now. So check out the link below. But this thing works so cool. Push this on, click, it's on there, and that dude is solid. It can't come off. I mean, unless you have one terrible crash or something, it's not coming off. And they say that protects your phone with this anti-vibration dampening thing right here, so you don't break your phone. You can see how it's made. It's got some rubber grommets there, and it just flexes. So you can buy just the ball that comes with this part, and then you buy this piece separate and put on there. And then you buy this ram mount here. You can get the handlebar clamp style, and you can get this style here. I'll just go ahead and post a link to all these things so you guys can see them. But that's where I keep my phone on my bike right now. It's real nice and solid. All the mounts I've tried, this is by far the best. No doubt, I like it better than any of them. So what we'll do here is take a picture. Not a video. Try to get the trees in the background, even though it probably will never turn out like it should. It's actually cloudy right there. Pretty darn cloudy. And there's a chance of rain later, hopefully not till I get home anyway. So anyway, but as I was saying, I've never done the hunting on the national forest with all the other people. I've always hunted on my own property, and even when I was a kid, you know, the family's property where I lived. I just don't imagine hunting out here with all these other people. I'd be afraid somebody'd shoot me. Wow, this is like a perfect day too. I'm telling you, I don't know what the temperature is. What does it say? 66 degrees. That's pretty nice. 66, overcast. Really ain't windy. Don't see much wind, if any. I don't see anything blowing in the trees up there, so pretty nice. See if we find any more hunters camped down here. I was actually hoping we'd see some deer. Uh-oh. Another creek. A little one. Yeah, if it was a beautiful day and nice in summer, I'd probably split that sucker. But not today. Don't necessarily want wet feet today. Sycamores everywhere. Makes me think of mushrooms. Back when I was a kid, I used to hunt mushrooms like crazy. Back when I lived on my own, I hunted a lot of mushrooms, and I actually had one winter, I took a bunch of those morel mushrooms and buried them in the ground and put moss around them, and it actually worked because it kept them They didn't freeze, but they stayed moist, and I pretty much eat, I don't know if it was all winter, for quite a while. But not all winter. It didn't last me that long. Pretty hard to resist squirrels and mushroom, or a mess of big bluegill and mushrooms. That's pretty hard to beat. But that's what I lived on, was that stuff. Squirrels, rabbits, and mushrooms, and I eat lamb's quarter, poke greens. You poke greens, you can eat the greens, you can take the stalks and slice them up like okra and fry them. You just want to get them before they get tough. When they turn purple, usually they start getting tough. Get them when they're young and they're real good. The stalks are. Holy cow, they built this up with rocks since I've been through here. Big time. Never seen that before. Because it keeps flooding out. But I lived in the tent back then. People have been wanting me to talk about it a little bit. Well, and the tent had put a stove. It didn't have it. Put a stove in it because it was an army tent. It wasn't real big. I think it was like a 10 by 12, maybe. No, I think it was a little bit bigger than that. It's been a long time. 16 by 20, I would actually say. And the cool part about that tent was it had a place for a stovepipe. When I got it from Army surplus. And put a stove in it, and holy cow, I mean, I didn't freeze all winter. I'm telling you, I was warm. It was just a little stove that had a cook stove top on it. It wasn't really like a wood cook stove because it didn't have the oven, but it was a cast iron, and it had the top on it where you could cook on it. So in the winter, I didn't have to use my Coleman cooker. I used that because there was always a fire, and just a little bit of wood is all it took to keep you warm inside that tent. But we don't get extreme colds here either. You know, it gets down sometimes cold, but usually don't get extreme cold, not for very long at a time. But them were the good old days. That was a lot of fun. That was a big change in my life back then, and a big change when I quit too, when I left it. And now I'm all modernized. Got this fuel injected DUALSPORT dirt bike and a iPhone. Darn sure didn't have no phone back then. There wasn't even no such thing as flip phones or nothing. But who cares? Didn't want none. I never had video games much either when I was a kid. When I was a teenager like that, my goal was to just work. I worked at a TV and appliance store. I rode my Honda Big Red. I had a 200 Big Red. It's pretty, all these colors. But I rode that Big Red to work and to school. I went to a Christian school. And then after school, I go by this TV and appliance store and work for this guy for 2 hours, and I got paid $10. And that was a lot of money. I mean, that was $5 an hour back then, was good. And then after a while, I would deliver TVs and appliances for him. I delivered refrigerators. He had a truck with a Tommy lift, and delivered the refrigerators and set them up, hooked them up, and I was just a kid. But then I'd come home. You'd have to hunt if you didn't already have something. But sometimes I would buy something in town too. It wouldn't bother me. I'd buy a cheeseburger. And then one day the cops told me, "Ellie, you got to get the three-wheeler off the streets. You know, they've outlawed them." And that was in 1985, 86. That's when they outlawed the three-wheelers from the sales in the United States. And the last new three-wheeler I bought, making payments back then, was a Honda ATC 250R, which was a fire-breathing dragon. That was the coolest three-wheeler ever, no doubt. And the first one I had was a Honda ATC 110. Oh no, it was ATC 90 before I had the 110. But it was wood just like this. The deal was I had the tent and it was up most of the way on top of the hill. You didn't want the tent all the way in the bottom because it would, like I said, in the winter, the cold spot's in the bottom. So I put the tent up close to the top, but it was up high enough to where there was a ledge and the wind kept almost all of the north wind off of me, which made a huge difference. And then of course there was a pond, which was full of fish. And of course I fished in some ponds that I shouldn't have fished in because it wasn't my land. You sneak across the fence and go fishing in other people's ponds that you wasn't supposed to. But pretty much by myself all the time. I mean, I've done a lot of fishing, hunting, done some coon hunting, several coons. The coons was making big money back then, you know, $45 for a coon skin, $1 for a possum. Made big money. That was a lot of money back then, especially when you're just a teenager. Eat lots of frog legs. That was probably one of the number one delicacies there is in the woods is frog legs. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think I don't know if I want to turn around here or go somewhere. We're going to go this way just to see. I've been out here with a brush hog or something, tractor, or see tracks. But yeah, it was quite a deal. And then I raced motocross every chance I get. When there was motocross, I was trying to be there. Now, this was motocross on, it wasn't something like the big new CRs back in those days. It was an air-cooled 125 Honda Elsinore, the 250 Elsinore, even a Yamaha. Had a Yamaha 125. And they pretty much had everything back then. Actually, a couple Suzukis and a Suzuki DUALSPORT. I didn't use them as DUALSPORTs because I didn't have tags on them. I just rode them everywhere anyway. And it was pretty wild. Now, to do laundry out there was a trick. Best thing to do was take it to the family's house and let them do the laundry for you. But heck, you don't need to change clothes that often when you're living out in the woods. I guess after a while you get ripe, it's time you gotta do something. Check out them colors with the green in the middle and then all the colors around it. Hopefully you guys can see this as much as I can. But I'm telling you, I could live out here today. Wouldn't bother me a bit. And I told my wife, I said, if something ever happens to her, that may be what I do. I may just go back to the woods. But the way to do it would be to own the land. I wouldn't want to stay out on the national forest. They'll run you off after a while. Well, there's a cross there. Uh-oh. Darn gate. I didn't realize there was a gate out here. It's been a long time since I've been through here. I'm a gate hater. Long time. And my weapon of choice by far was the Henry 22. Not the Golden Boy. I got a Golden Boy now, but back then it was just a Henry lever action. It was blued. That thing was a squirrel hunting gun. Open sights, but you could crack a squirrel pretty good. You got the thing on, and they're pretty much on from the factory. They set them pretty good. All you do is adjust up and down. That's all you have to. The 22 was cool because the shells was cheap. I even had a 410 shotgun, but the problem with them was you didn't want to, on squirrels, if you don't get a good headshot, then you get all the little lead BBs in your meat, and you don't want that. So the 22 worked the best. And once you get to where you can crack them dudes in the head, and you don't mess up any of the meat, that's the best way. Of course, there was two different kinds that we had pretty much, was the big old red squirrels, and we had the gray squirrels. And some gray squirrels would get big, usually not as big as the reds. Them reds get pretty fat and pretty big, but they was a lot tougher. Those little grays are just as tender as can be. Rabbits was a lot more meat on them, but the rabbits to me didn't taste as good. I mean, I did like them, but they didn't taste as good as squirrel. And it's been a few years since I had a rabbit. Now squirrels, I get them. I still get them, but I ain't had no rabbits in a while. The problem with that is, around here, there is so many of them red-tailed hawks. We call them chicken hawks. That's what the old country folks call them. They're actually red-tailed hawks. We call them chicken hawks. The reason we call them chicken hawks is because they're always just killing the chickens. Kind of like them hoot owls. Boy, they'll kill the chickens too. We ought to call them chicken owls. But the owls and the hawks will tear them up. Especially if you have any white chickens. They see them. You're better off like we did. We had a lot of red ones, black ones. The red Buff Orpingtons. Some barred rocks. And they don't bother them as bad. Once they find them, they tear them up. They kill them like crazy. Nowadays, oh boy, they don't want you killing one of them hawks or owls or anything. They just want to let them kill all your chickens. And you're not allowed to kill them at all. Same way with eagles. I've never killed an eagle. That's highly illegal, but I don't remember an eagle ever getting into the chickens. I'm sure they have. But I don't remember a lot of bald eagles back when I was a kid either, like I see them now. There's a lot more around the country. So if I was to move out of my own again, it'd be pretty hard to not have the CRF300L. I would have to have that for transportation to town and back. And, you know, wouldn't need the Gladiator necessarily, but if you're way off out in the woods, it'd be handy to be able to get in and out. The little Ford Ranger works, but you ain't gonna go nowhere if it gets too deep of snow or too rough of a country. But I can just almost ride the 300L year round. Now there is times in the mornings when it's super cold I don't like to, because it's just too cold, and my ride is about 12 miles. 6 miles isn't bad, but once you get on that last 6, it gets pretty cold when it's down to 20 degrees, 10 degrees down in there. So I don't ride usually much anymore once it gets below 30. And I still will once in a while, because what I do is I'll go so long and I can't stand it no longer, so I'll bundle up, ride the bike anyway. And then once I ride it once, I'm like, okay, I can do this all week. Check out this jump. If he's on a motocross bike, you can get some good air there. We used to come out here and ride these trails. There was more trails back then. Now they've made it into roads that a ugly third grader could drive their BMW down this. You could drive a Mazda Miata down this. That's right, Harry. You can. This is pretty smooth. There is a lot of loose gravel here. You got to watch it. Even though airing down the tires makes a big difference, the gravel can still get you on your head. This is a off camber and it's leaning to my right big time, so you probably can't see it on the camera. Get my helmet right maybe. But it was right there and on a corner and loose gravel. Wow. We're almost back in the bottom again. This is kind of enjoyable. I'm a summer person, but I do like the colors in the fall on days like this when it's nice and warm out. Look at the colors up on that hill. It's right behind all them sycamores, and then there's all those colors right there. So that's a pretty big cedar tree right there. For this area, that's a good one. There's some like that around here. Not like they're everywhere, as most of them are a lot smaller. I guess let's try this way. See what's down here beside the washout. Probably come upon a poacher down here. Take the high road, which is the dry road. Holy cow. It may be turn into a loblolly. Sometimes it does down here. A lot of leaves on the ground. Not near as much traffic through here. See the creek over here, but it's dry. And almost all the time when I come down here, that's running. But there's a deer. You guys ain't gonna see it, but it just crossed the road right there. Went to the left, I believe. Oh, there it is up on the hill. I don't know if you can see it right through that way. Barely see it. Yeah, maybe we'll see another one. It's possible. Ooh, that's slick. Slick, slick. We're down in the boggy bottom. Oh, look at that mud hole. Holy mackerel. Let's see if we can go around that thing. That looks pretty skank. Pretty skanky. Even here's another one. But there's a way around it. Somebody with four-wheelers made this trail. I lug this old 300L down, make it rattle. I think I'm in on the second gear is why. First gear is just a little low for some things. It's so thick right now, and the leaves are on still pretty heavy, and that makes it awful difficult to see the deer because of all the leaves. But this is the time of day you'll see them. I actually have a lot better luck seeing deer early in the morning than I ever have in the evening. Check out these rocks. We'll go around this one a little bit if we can. Some of these mud holes you might think, that's not bad. Then you jump off in the thing and it's 3 feet deep and you're stuck in the mud. Been there. I'm saying this from experience. Oh boy. Now I'm cross-roaded. Gotta get back over here. I don't want to go through there cross-roaded. Yeah, oh, look at the deer tracks. See the deer tracks right here. He went right through there. Instead of going in the water, he goes right through the middle where I'm going to try to go if I don't slide off in there. I did it. Kind of a balancing act, but I did it. You see my tracks across there now, going across the deer tracks when we come back. Somebody's been down here pretty fresh in a four-wheeler. I can see the tread. It's either a four-wheeler or a side-by-side. We'll try to go around this one. Partially, anyway. There's an old pond. People going through the pond. I guess it's dry as a bone. We'll go through it. Well, now you could definitely catch some air right there. The mushrooms on that tree. Can't tell if that's the edible ones or not. Back through there. I actually enjoyed this when there's nobody out here. Uh-oh, I do see something. Oh, I think we're at the end of the public forest here. I think this is a fence down here, private property. Yeah, it is. So see the gate there. Somebody's farm down there. And they don't want nobody down there. You can see all the purple. Right there. This is some soft gravel. So 300 sinking in, but I can tell you, these tires, these DUALSPORT, are way better than the factory tires, no doubt. They do a lot better job. It's gonna get dark on me before long if I don't head out of here, probably. Oh, the loose gravel will get you. Reach out and grab you. We're going to head back out. It's quite a ways back in here and it's going to get dark. Look at that colors on them trees. Maybe we'll see a deer on the way out. Oh man, but it is a shame that winter is really close. And I have to lie, I love winter. Ain't no doubt. We'll go a little faster pace on the way out of here. Whoa, till we hit something like this right here. That old mud is slicker than greased owl snot. And let me tell you, that's pretty darn slick. Oh man, I screwed that one up. Whoa! That's all I want to do is go down, get all wet and muddy. Oh, I've done it plenty of times. We used to go out just for a actual rain ride. It's gonna rain on Saturday, all day pouring nasty muddy rain. That's where we went. And I mean, we got soaked. There wasn't nothing better than getting home after the end of the day. While you was riding, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And then when you're done, that trip home, you guys have done it. You know what I'm talking about. Trip back to the truck or whatever on the dirt bikes. That was a cold ride. Cold, wet, and nasty. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Somewhere about here where we saw that deer earlier, I think. Or I did. I don't know if you guys saw it. Hey guys, I want to see who has stayed in the video this long. I don't know how long the video is, but I'm just going to make it the whole long video. Who stayed this long, and if you did, tell me what you think about, do you like the winter and the winter riding? I don't necessarily. I like this fall, but are you looking forward to winter? Or are you wishing it wasn't winter and the summer would just last longer? So we can see how many people, even if you don't want to comment about that, just comment and say you stayed and watched the video this long. So I kind of get an idea how many people watch this long of a video. Oh my God, that's mud right there. Go back tire sunk deep. Just squish. But it'd be interesting to see how many people actually made it this far. I can tell sometimes when some people comment, especially they ask something that I have already mentioned in the video, they didn't really stick around long enough to see that I had said that in the video. And we're out of the rough stuff. We're back on this ugly third grader sissy stuff here. That was the good stuff back there. But you get to where it's open a little more, you can kind of see the colors better. Bitch. We're going to see if there's anybody up here at this tent or this camper when we go back out. Might be. They may be working during the day and they come out here and stay at night. Kind of just setting a tent up and leaving it for a few days. I don't know if that's a smart idea. I think somebody'd steal your tent. Of course, I guess you could have a game cam hidden out there somewhere, keeping an eye on it. We're not too far from there. Uh-oh, creek crossing. Tiny creek. Maybe to wash some of that mud off. Probably not that one. I don't even think that was deep enough to reach over the top of the knobs to the actual tire. There's one up here in just a second that's going to be a little bit deeper. The Woodz was calling and I had to go. So you guys check out John Muir. You can actually download those as they're in the free archives, his books. Wonderful books if you're into that kind of stuff. I really enjoy his books because he just kind of tells about how it really was in nature and how it, you know, and back then of course it was a lot different than it is now. He explored a lot of the country. No doubt about it. We've been getting a lot of frost on the pumpkins around here lately. Here we go. Here we go. Nope, there's nobody at that one. Yeah, they're getting that. They just got that ready here. We can wash our tires off. Huh, maybe a little bit. The tent. Uh-oh, is there somebody in there now? Nope. I thought it was open. It's a good tent. Probably just sitting it there just to take that spot. Probably the people that have the camper and they wanted that spot too, so they set a tent over there. Very possible. Well, I'm glad everybody that's with me still has stuck around and rode along with me today. It's been a good ride. It's just a little, like I said, nothing extreme, just a cruise to the Mark Twain National Forest. I had the kind of like cabin fever, only for motorcycles. I had the itch. Well, them trees are beautiful. So many different colors. Can you imagine if they made a camera that would just see everything that I see right now? Same clarity is fine. They don't have to worry about all this 4K and 5K and all this junk. But just to see the same view that I do right now, where everything's in focus all the time. And how cool would that be to see it on video? I just don't think they're not as good as God. They may think they are. But God created these set of eyes you got, and this is what you can see. Beautiful. Now there's an old cedar tree that's dead. Another one. Fall off the hillside. Starts washing out, they fall down and die. The earth gives away up there. This is a spot about like where I had the tent years ago. Like I said, it was the north side, and the north wind wouldn't hit me because I had the tent right there below that, but it was actually still like this. See, we're not down in that bottom. We're really up on the hill quite a ways. Not as high as that mountain over there, but quite a ways, but you at least got the windbreak from the north side. And that's what you want. Especially if you got a bigger hill on the other side and you're in the woods, you don't get the wind nearly as bad. You might get some breeze from the south, but it usually ain't as bad as when the wind's coming out of the north. It's bitter cold. Colder than a well digger's you know what. Oh, I forgot to put my phone back on there. Stopped and took a picture. I was like, where's my phone? Quad lock don't disappoint me. Nah, that quad lock's pretty cool. It ain't gonna break, I don't think. Wow, look at these colors here. Awesome. I just hope they show up. I can't see the video yet till I get home. Hopefully they show up that good on the video. No more deer. I wanted to hang in there till I get all the way back to the highway, just in case we see a deer. Because sure enough, if I turn the camera off and cut you guys off, there'd be a whole herd of deer run across the road up here. But looks like we're gonna make it without them. Just the one. But I guarantee you the deer's out there and they seen me. Plenty of them seen me. Dudes are fast. They get away from you. I have chased a rabbit down on foot before and killed a rabbit. That's a lot of work, but you can do it. We are almost to the end. So the 300L is at 2915 miles. 2,915 miles. And I'll be doing an oil change here pretty soon, so I'm going to video that. It's crazy. I thought I had a video of an oil change on the 250L or something, but I guess I never did. I just cannot imagine I didn't do that. I did on the Africa to Win. So I'm going to make a video for this one. So the oil change on this one is going to be the same difference as if you're doing it on 250L. There's no difference as far as that part goes. Well, that is it, guys. If you stayed this far, tell me in the comments below that you stayed all the way to the end. Thank you all for watching Woodzman Adventures. Check out the links below. Check out my other videos. Click the thumbs up on this one. Subscribe to my channel. I do have lots more to come. Hopefully we have nice weather like this and I can make lots more videos. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Right on, guys.